What's up? Welcome back and welcome in to Red's Place. Today we're doing another Asked and Answered segment, and this is where I take questions from the comments and try to get you the best answer I have. And today's question has been asked numerous times, probably the most popular question that I have in my comments, and it is, what is the best vehicle to use for Uber and Lyft? And as always, with that type of question, it depends. Depends on a lot of factors. I will give you an idea of what I think is the best vehicle and what works for out in the suburbs and the Chicago market type of thing, but it's gonna depend on a lot of things. One, it's gonna depend on what the fuck can you afford? Two, what does your market look like? What is your market demand? Three, what are gas prices like in your area? I mean, the fuel efficiency for the vehicle that is needed is different out here where I'm at, where gas is under $3, versus Chicago, where gas is closer to 4, if not over 4. That does make somewhat of a difference. 4, how big are you? What can you comfortably fit into? My Lincoln MKZ is not going to be comfortable for someone that is taller than me for the most part and still have room for passengers in the back. Things like that. So it's a lot of it depends, but overall what you're going to want is, one, a vehicle you already have is normally going to be the best thing. Don't go spend money on a vehicle unless you absolutely need to. I would not recommend it. It's just not a wise investment, especially when you're just getting into rideshare. If you've been in for a while, you're now looking for a new vehicle, different story. But as a newbie to rideshare, use the vehicle you have. It's a good way to start. I highly recommend do not rent from Lyft and Uber. I think they still do that. That's how I started. And I think it's a great way to start. Like, I had a leased vehicle, so I couldn't rack up the miles on it. So starting with a rental from Uber and Lyft worked out great, but they're taking so much money from you that it just does not make sense. Outside of using the vehicle that you already have, you want to be looking for probably a few things. One, I think this is probably the most important thing. Some people might put other things first. Number one, I think, is being comfortable in that vehicle. You may be spending 20, 30, 40, all the way up to 80 to 100 hours in that vehicle a week, depending on how much you're looking to work. And when you're spending that much time in a vehicle, you want to be comfortable. So I think comfort is the most important thing. If you can't fit in the vehicle, or if it's just not comfortable to you, it's not going to work out long term for you, and you might develop back problems, knee problems, hip problems, whatever it is. So find a vehicle that is comfortable. The next most important thing, I think, is probably fuel efficiency. It doesn't have to be a hybrid vehicle, but you also don't want to be driving around a truck. You want to, I would say, at a bare minimum, be looking to get 25 miles per gallon, especially if you're using a sedan. If you're using an SUV, maybe, like, be able to do XL rides. If you're using an SUV that you can do XL rides in, it still needs to be getting 25 miles a gallon. I think that's the bare minimum. I aim for closer to, the 35 miles per gallon range and higher. That's gonna be even more beneficial for you. But I think 25 and you're gonna be okay for the most part. And then we start going to other things. Do you want XL? Do you want to be able to do Comfort or Premier, depending on where you're at? It used to be Select. Or do you want to be able to do Lyft Lux rides, Lyft Lux Black, things like that? And for the most part, I'm gonna say, especially when you're just getting started, those things aren't that important. I would prioritize XL over the Comfort or the Premium or the Lux rides. I think for most markets, especially if you have an airport, the XL ride is a little more important. Now, if you have a lot of business clientele, maybe you might want to chase the Comfort a little bit or those Lux rides, but the thing is, Comfort doesn't pay that much more than an Uber X, so do you really want to pay that much more for a vehicle? Now, if the vehicle is only going to be, $2,000 to $3,000 more for you to get into something that's going to allow you to qualify for Lux and Comfort, then maybe go that route. But if you're spending an extra $5,000 to $10,000 on that vehicle, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. XL driving is great though if you're doing a lot of weekend driving, if you're doing a lot of driving around events, or if you're doing a lot of driving to and from airports. That's when you want to be looking at an XL vehicle. But overall, I think you can get away with having a very successful career doing rideshare if you stick with a sedan that is fuel efficient and you're not spending a shit ton of money for it. And if you have shitty credit, don't go spend a shit ton of money for it and have a 10, 15, 20% interest rate on a vehicle. It's just not the smartest way. Can you do it? Yes, absolutely. You can make it work even if you have a 20% interest rate. I just don't think it's the best way to go about it, unless you only have $5,000 out on loan. If you have $20,000 out on loan at a 20% interest rate, and let's say that makes your payment $600 a month, you're killing yourself there. I mean, you're talking $150 a week is already out the door in just vehicle payments before you even talk insurance and gas, and that's before you make any money. So I don't think it's the best approach. I think try to keep it under a $10,000 expense, especially if you have bad credit. If you have better credit and you can get a lower interest rate, maybe trend up towards that $15,000 mark, but still try to keep it lower. So overall, comfort, fuel efficiency are the two things you're looking for. And then if you really want it and you want an XL vehicle, go that route. And if you can, make that XL also something that qualifies for Lux or Lux Black. If you're already getting, if you're the XL you're looking for that fits your price range and has good fuel efficiency, is already a Lux qualified vehicle, get it in black. Don't be dumb. I don't get a lot of Lux Black requests when I had that type of vehicle, but there's some. So why would you make it so you couldn't get it because you wanted a red vehicle? I think it's silly, especially if you're buying the vehicle for the business purpose. If you're buying it for personal use and you only Uber 10 hours a week, then sure, get exactly what you want. But overall, if it's for the business purpose, get a damn black vehicle, make your life a lot easier. But until next time, guys, as always, like I always say, if you like the content, hit the thumbs up. If you hate the content, hit the thumbs down. That gives me the feedback I need to know what type of videos to keep providing you, or even change the style of videos if you don't like the way I'm going about them. Leave comments, give me feedback. But until next time, guys, let me know what you think.